Every Saturday that I'm in town, I do a movie night in my theater. 20 or 25 people I happen to be mentoring at that time come. We talk about those films and why they're great or sometimes not so great, because you learn as much or maybe more from a movie that doesn't work than a movie that does work. Here we go. Hi, I'm Michael Goi. I'm a cinematographer, director, and producer. Take one. You have to be uncomfortable every single day that you're working, because if you're not, then it means you're doing exactly what you did before. That monotony, I think, ultimately kills your creative impulses. So when people point out to, like my work on American Horror Story or in Avatar: The Last Airbender or whatever it is, they're pointing out work where I ventured into doing stuff that I had never done before. There's certainly mentors all along, I think, the path. George Spiro Debe, who was the president of the Camera Guild, he took me around to various seminars and had me do lighting demos and instruct students or upcoming cinematographers because I was very quiet. But George kind of opened me up in that respect. People always ask me what was the big break. Honestly, I feel like I'm still waiting for the break. The thing that I will give myself is that I was never content to wait for opportunities to come up. So I wanted to make professional movies by the time I reached the age of 14. And so I saved up enough money to get a 16mm wind-up Bolex camera. And I saw a truck down the street that was selling aluminum siding, and I recognized the name on the truck because they had some of the worst commercials on Spanish television in Chicago. And I did a dozen shots of their workers hammering up aluminum siding, and I was yelling at the workers, "Smile, smile when you..." And they didn't know what I was saying, thought I was crazy. And then I shot the name of the company and the phone number on the truck, and I called the owner of the company, and I said, "I just shot your next television commercial." And they're like, "What?" And they paid to have the film processed, and they cut it together into a 30-second spot, and they put Spanish narration on it, and that was the first commercial I did. So by the time I graduated from high school, I had 12 television commercials on the air on Spanish television. Vilmos Zsigmond was a great mentor. When I first moved to Los Angeles, there was a very low-budget film that I had shot that they were going to screen at the Egyptian theater, so I sent out postcards to all my cinematography heroes, Conrad Hall, Haskell Wexler, all of them. And Vilmos actually showed up with one of my postcards in his hand. And I ran up to him and I said, "Vilmos, I can't tell you what it means to me that you came to see my movie." And he says, "Well, you invited me, so I came," And that turned into an association with him and Laszlo that lasted for years, through my presidency at the ASC. The directing sort of came as a natural extension of my cinematography work. I had directed 3 low-budget feature films before I actually got the opportunity to direct professionally on American Horror Story. The challenges of working with the different directors are largely good challenges. You're looking for a perspective that's maybe different than your own. I never like to assume that I have all the answers, or certainly not all the right answers. The first idea is always the most conventional way to do something, so I always throw away the first idea. The environment of being on set for me is an active and a fluid one. Part of the reason why I stand behind the A-camera operator and I'm never at Video Village when I'm directing is because I can breathe down the dolly grip's neck and I can say, oh, let's push it here. Even though that wasn't rehearsed, it's a living, breathing, evolving thing where I can react to things on the fly and make the shot that much more special. Helping and instructing the next generation of cinematographers, image makers, directors is the most important thing that I can do. Certainly more important than anything I will direct or shoot in my career, my lifetime. Being able to work with young cinematographers and see in their initial works that there's something special there. There's a unique way of seeing the world. Being able to nurture that and help it along is just very gratifying.